So, as a fund, with approximately about 40% female founders, right? How do you think Vertex Ventures SEA India is promoting, female representation, especially on the leadership side of things?
If we are saying that there should be female representation at leadership level in a fund, and fund are also businesses, then we should also believe that this should go down also to our portfolio companies and startups. So there was actually a study done that shows that if there is both a female and a male founding team, they tend to do better than those that are single gender. So if that's the case, then for companies where they are mainly predominantly single gender, then it's how can we encourage the founders to look at maybe bring on board another founder that is of a different gender. Right, so that at least they can spar. Right, what we try to encourage is for founders to at least have at least one other partner, so that when they go through tough times, there's always another party to bounce ideas, share the problems with, as opposed to the founder loading it on him or herself. Yeah. But beyond that, it's about finding people who shares your vision, and then to also complement you in how to manage a startup business, and as they grow, how can both parties fall in place of what they need to do. And actually, even for our founders, right, in some of our portfolio companies, the men somehow they fall into place very well as a CEO, the face to fundraising, the face to handling investors. But it's the female co-founders that's doing all the backroom work that people don't really see. So this could be one of them who's a CTO, a tech person who manages the product team, who manages the developers. And then on other cases, it could be people who are more doing the marketing, like what we said. But yet at the same time, some of the other people, the women on the team, are very strong in the finance side of the house. Wow. So they complement each other very well. And to that extent, the women are quite happy that, okay, fine, let the male co-founder go on and fundraise, but we can play the supporting role. So we will never undermine the fact that these are women co-founders, because they are the ones who are managing the ship when the founder is out there fundraising.
We talk a little bit about some of the investments in Southeast Asia, and I think personally for yourself, you have a couple of investments that you make that are founded by females, like I think Sunday, Parent Inc., SCB Abacus. So how has the experience been? Is there anything like interesting to share in terms of highlights? Yeah.
I feel that the women, they generally are pretty humble.
Okay.
Right. So for them, like Cindy, right, Sunday Insurance, women venturing into the insurtech world, right, when it's dominated by incumbents and men, and yet she's able to work her way through with patience and with a strategy to not become quite a candidate that the incumbents are familiar with, and to that extent they realize the existence of Sunday, and they couldn't erase Sunday off, right? So that is great. Then the other one, Abacus. So she is also amazing. I mean, all of us have to be amazing in our work, right? In what we want to do. So she was a King's Scholar, and then she has risen up the ranks within the bank itself. And feeling that there's a strong reason and angle for why Abacus should exist, she and her team decided to spin out. But she motivated the rest of the team members to spin out with her. So to that extent, she has leadership, and she's also going back into the war room, the boardrooms, to negotiate with the bank on certain matters that they will need to see things to fall in place. So she is still a very good leader, right? And again, in the fintech space, in the lending space. So I see the wowsy moments is that women are actually standing up to be really good in the discipline that they have chosen for themselves. Then next is how can we complement them, provide them with the capital so that they can bring that vision to the next mile.
Let's say, as a female founder today, or let's say there's someone that's interested in tech and VC, right? And they want to enter into the space. What would be, a word of advice or something that you want them to take on so that they can remember that, hey, this space is actually welcoming.
Yeah. So actually, this space has always been there, right? So right from when NASA was still new, so there was a show in 2017 called Hidden Figures. So Hidden Figures is about the calculators, they call it, which is actually human beings. The calculators who helped NASA to land human to the moon. And the calculators were actually made up of roomfuls of African women. Wow. So American women who are of African descent. And they were so good in their work, but so behind the scene that nobody knows, but they are the ones who made things happen so that America could plant a man to the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, and so to me, it's like women founders in tech age, in this time and age, we're having it really good as compared to when the calculators were doing the work, and they were less well recognized at that time, right? So for us, we just have to be really good at what we do. Then there's also emerging, you see more female-led funds, VC funds. Then it's about speaking to enough of them, making sure we do really good stuff, right? Because we're not asking people to back us because we're women. We're asking people to back us because our ideas, our execution is really good. Then and only then can we talk about having the next generation of more female founders. Yeah, so whatever we do has to have positive impact in the world that we live in.
Yeah, so are there any last words you want to let people know in terms of, your belief system when it comes to empowering women?
I feel that we as women shouldn't be expecting people to empower us because we're women. We are not the weaker sex, but we are just made differently. So there's no need for us to, in my personal view, there's no need for us to try to always be the man, if at all, right? It's okay to have men open the doors for us. I would love to see that, right? Not because I am weak, not because I cannot open, but sometimes I think it's nice if men recognize that, hey, there's actually women in the room and I respect the women. So I feel that for us, we just have to be really good in what we do, but continue to execute that humility. Because actually humility comes from that sense of assurance to know that you know what you're doing. You don't need to barge in and say, I am good. But people will recognize, it may not be immediate, but they will recognize the strength that we have.